So, I know it's like, is it illegal or whatever to like say that like some people should die, or like that's like it would be really cool if somebody were to be like assassinated. It's like technically illegal, even though everybody knows exactly like who we're talking about when we say it, and everybody agrees that it would be a good thing, and they have demonstrably like been a net negative for like the country and the world, and like everybody like knows that they are terrible people, and even though it's like, oh, it's bad to say that you want them to die, they are like without a doubt like a bad thing for like the planet and humanity, and they're doing all they're making millions of people's lives worth on a daily basis, and they continue. Right, we're not supposed to say that, but like, can I say that like I'm pretty fucking stoked that like Lindsey Graham is dead and that Mitch McConnell is like a fucking vegetable? Like, is that okay? Like, if they're already there, I didn't like say
we're not, like,
somebody should kill them.
Anything.
Right.
We're not inciting anything. We're we're merely expressing an opinion that probably a few million people also have.
Yeah.
I looked at Lindsey Graham's Wikipedia page today, and what's crazy is that, like, you know how on Wikipedia it'll kind of have like their little blurb under their picture that's kind of like a little history of their entire time like in office. You can see like the dates from when they held what position, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
The position that Lindsey Graham held before him was Strom Thurmond. Do you know who Strom Thurmond is?
Roughly. I know I will when you tell me.
He was, I think he was a senator. He was a senator until he was like 101 years old. Like, he died in office at 101. He was like a Dixiecrat in the 60s, which was like basically a Democrat supporter who was against civil rights. And his whole thing was like, I'm not racist. I just think it should be a states' rights issue. Like, that was his whole deal. He also was like notable for having like the longest recorded filibuster ever. I think it's like 24 hours and some change. And I think that also was about the Civil Rights Act. So it's just crazy that Strom Thurmond held that position for like 60 years, well into his hundreds. And then Lindsey Graham immediately took that position and held it from 2003 until now. That's nearly like a decade of just the most evil, shitty people holding one position in the government. You mean a
century?
Just like, century, yes. That is what I meant. Whoops. But I was just like, it just kind of put it all into perspective for me a little bit. Just like how long just like an eternal shithead has held that position and just made shit terrible for everybody constantly.
But now he's dead, and that is a good thing. Even if he's replaced by another shitty person, I can still be happy that he died.
Yes. It was such a sleeper thing too. Like, I woke up this morning and I checked our group chat, and that was like the first thing that I saw. And I was like, it's going to be all right.
Yeah, sleeper hit of the summer.
Because the thing is, usually how this goes is that, better case, someone like Mitch McConnell, who's like 84 years old, whenever like someone like that dies, everyone's like, haha, yeah, rest in piss, pack watch, bozo, rip, like that kind of shit. But it's like they're old enough to the point where like they lived that long and they basically saw their vision up until it's like as far as they wanted it to go, and then just sort of died at an old age of just natural causes. And it doesn't really feel all that satisfying as a dunk, because it's like you kind of got your way and then left. Lindsey Graham dying at 71 is kind of a rare thing, because it's like that dude probably had another 20 years of like deep throating Israel in him, and he can't now.
Yeah.
So it's like that one, you kind of can feel a little bit of like taking a victory lap, because someone was like, oh, you got to see the Iran war fail, something that you've had a hard on for like your entire life. You got to see the Iran war just suck shit and then die. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice for him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He can. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know my. I was trying to think of like a dead leader of Israel that he can deep throat in hell, but I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, no, those. Ugh. Yeah, that was like also the first thing I saw was like all the like figureheads of Israel like memorializing Lindsey Graham, and it's like he's probably more beloved over there than he is here.
Yeah, I agree that it's nice that Mitch McConnell is seemingly, presumably on his way out. But yeah, you're right. It would feel better if it was like, if they've still really like got the fire in them. Like even at this point, and maybe I will have to blur these. Like even at this point, like. Jar Jar Binks is sort of starting to get there, So it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, still be really cool, but
yeah, yeah,
it wouldn't, in a way, it doesn't pack the same punch as like if it was.
If it happened like 20 years
10
ago.
years ago, or before any, before any of the
like first term.
decade.
If it happened to him first term, that would have been like,
yeah,
loser.
Yeah. But there's still people like Sazy Tin. I'm giving myself a pause break there for the easy edit. He's still, he'd be a good like, he'd be the aperitif to make the other one like go down a little smoother.
Yeah. I guess we kind of got a little bit of that in Jabba the Hutt. I gave you a pause buffer there too. because Jabba the Hutt was like one of those guys that when it happened, everybody online was like, you just made a million Jabba the Hutts. Like if you're making fun of him dying, you just made a million more Jabba the Hutts who are gonna carry the flame and like throated. And then what's so funny is like there were people that were getting fired from jobs.
I know,
for like making posts about it, which is funny because now I'm seeing articles of people getting like payouts for like unlawful firings for that shit, which is like pretty satisfying. But it is like deeply ironic when they said you're gonna make a million Jabba the Hutts, and they weren't wrong. They just didn't know that they were all going to be a million AI Jabba the Hutts on the face of like gifts from Shrek, or so it's like in a way we did, but it was just one of those things where it's like everyone was like so self-serious about it, and they thought that everyone who made fun of him is like gonna get in trouble, and it's like no, he got memed into oblivion. Like it got absorbed into like Gen Z verbiage where they're like, look genuinely, like they've like integrated it in such a strange way that it's like that's like the perfect test case for someone like dying before they like hold any sort of actual position of power. And like they just got memed into oblivion, and now they're like a big joke. Like that Drewski video of him like doing whiteface pretending to be Erica Kirk. Have you?
Oh yeah,
Drewski's like the comedian, and he did all of like the fireworks and the pantsuits and like doing that kind of shit. And it's like that they just need to know that like being a conservative is lame and you're not funny, and like no matter how desperate you are for control, like you'll never be seen in the public eye as cool ever.
Yeah. No way. Yeah. What do you think is gonna be? What do you think is gonna get more, I guess, like coverage this year? 9/11 or 9/10?
Oh. I see, that's the thing, is like I almost wouldn't want to even acknowledge it, because anyone who does, they're just gonna get flooded with like memes of Kirk. They're gonna get memes of him. They're gonna get the "We Are Charlie Kirk" song. Like, I don't think anyone really likes him all that much. There was like a big push right when it happened, when like all the people that you know, like that are apolitical, had to make like a big long post about like, you know, guys, political violence is actually like not a good thing, and you really shouldn't be celebrating it, no matter who it happens to. I mean, anyway, I love Israel and stand for everything that they do, but like political violence is never okay. It's like, okay, well, how are we defining political violence? Would you say that, like, I don't know, policies that eradicate the lives of millions, would you call that political violence? Like, I don't know. It's like kind of a slippery slope. And like how you want to determine it.
Those are civilians, though, not politicians, so... Like,
yeah, that's fair.
They don't matter as much.
Charlie was like kind of an unofficial advisor role. Like he had,
I know, yeah.
He was kind of like what is it, Wormtongue from like Lord of the Rings. He was kind of like
yeah.
He was Worm Gums with his like receding gums. That's
Christ. Oh.
That like so Meat Canyon picture of him. That's like
yeah.
It's so good.
I'm so
it's
weird.
So accurate.
I'm so weirded out by weird mouths like that. It's like it's one of my icks. So
he's got horse girl gums.
Yeah. Or just horse gums. Yeah.
Horse gums, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing about Elon, sorry, the other thing that my favorite image probably of Elon of all time is like that one time he was on an airplane and he was streaming like Diablo or something. He was like streaming.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I know yeah.
And there's like a
Good
picture
stuff.
of him just staring at the computer screen, and like every single message in the chat was just like, no one likes you, your family hates you, you're going to die alone. And that was like every single message as it's rolling in.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's good shit. And my thought is like, people are saying all this shit now, but like about, you know, oh, you shouldn't, you know, say this about these people. You shouldn't like celebrate it. But like we're like literally approaching fascism. So like imagine like thinking this with like, oh, well, you shouldn't call for like, I mean, it's the most typical. There's a name for it. What I'm doing right now is I'm bringing up Hitler into the conversation, but it's like, you shouldn't celebrate that like Joseph Goebbels just died. You know, he was just playing his part. Yeah, he didn't, even if you didn't agree with him politically, and like we're indirectly, our country is not as directly as the Nazis, but we're doing a fucking genocide. Like we are like a couple steps fucking removed from them right now, because we're not the ones literally directly doing it. But
we're just arming and funding it.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not so like, what do you mean? Like history is going to tell, hopefully, unless, you know, we do fall into fascism and it's rewritten and, you know, it's 1984, all that bullshit. Unless that happens, I'm being a little optimistic that maybe we won't fall into a total totalitarian dystopia in the future. Assuming that doesn't happen, history will shed the light on this time and how awful these people are. And just like, you know, not even like the star players. Like, it's just our whole fucking country like sucks. We suck. We're terrible. We are like a terrible, like awful regime. And I really hope that like, you know, come out of this and people start fucking like realizing and like saying like, yeah, it's okay to be glad when these people are eradicated. These people, I'm calling for a genocide of a class of people, not by race though. I'm not discriminating by race or like birthplace. It's by status, I guess.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I've seen someone posted a book. I don't know if it's a book that came out recently or what, but the title of the book was something along the lines of like, one day everyone will have been against this.
Oh yeah,
and
I've seen that
about
quote
that a lot.
pop up. Yeah, I guess that's basically what I was going for.
Yeah, like once we're like a few years removed. Which removed from what? Like
I know at this point,
it's like
yeah.
I don't see like an end point to this at all. But it's like the people that were like frothing at the mouth for it like 3 years ago are, once it's like focus grouped, like once the Democratic Party has enough like consultants telling them that now it's okay to be critical of Israel, they'll be like the staunchest, like like, wow, what's going on over there is really bad. And it was like 3 years ago you were like standing on the Senate floor saying that if you don't give them like unlimited weapons and bombs, it's like anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, and I think what's different is like I feel like people say, it's like, man, how did people let that happen in like 1939 or 40 or 41 or 42? Like, how did people just kind of let that happen and not do anything about it? It's like, bitch, that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And we have cell phones. We have cell phone and drone footage and like CCTV footage. It's like we can watch it in 4K. Like in the Holocaust, like a lot of it, what you saw was either like footage of like the United States liberating camps or like maybe some of the footage that like Germans took. But I would imagine they probably burned a lot of that shit once the tide kind of turned and they were like, oh, this is bad. Like, we're not winning this. So like they destroyed as much as they can, like all the evidence. But it's like, for a while, like you couldn't log into Twitter without seeing just like people buried in rubble, like dismembered children. Like, it's there. And obviously like the AI bots, like the verified people who paid for Twitter to buy a checkmark accounts were saying that it was like, they would call it Pollywood, Pally wood, like saying that it was like the like Palestinians just like editing it to make it look like it was worse than it actually was. It's like, it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I'm just kind of getting back to like Lindsey Graham. I'm just like, I'm ready for like, I'm ready for boomers to just start dying off.
Yeah.
I've got parents that are boomers and I love them, but just like sort of as a cohort, they have like held power for the longest, and so many decisions that have been made that have like negatively affected so many people were brought on by them. And then they'll be the first people to tell you that you're not working hard enough like they did. And it's like, I'm so ready for it to just be, I don't know, Gen X in charge, us in charge. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to be optimistic for the future, but you do get these little glimpses in the form of extremely closeted senators from South Carolina dying. Watch me twirl, Daddy. Daddy, watch me twirl.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of There Will Be Duds. This is episode 215, and I am your co-host, TJ, and with me as always,
I am Nick.
And, as always, we watched a movie. That movie this week is The Good, the Bad, the Weird from 2008, directed by Kim Jee-woon. It is not really, you could call it an adaptation of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but it's not necessarily trying to. It's just kind of copying, obviously, the triarch of the, or whatever, of the three main characters, and they do all converge at a buried treasure location, but a lot of stuff in between is very different. Obviously the setting is different. It's in Manchuria in the like 1930s. But yeah, it's a send up to like spaghetti westerns, Sergio Leone, that kind of stuff, putting its own spin on it, I guess. I saw that Kim Jee-woon wanted this to be referred to as a kimchi western, which I
was about to say that.
I said that he should just call it an Eastern instead. That was my
okay
my name for it. And yeah, this one had been on my list for probably like really since it came out. And before I even like knew who like Song Kang-ho was, or probably Lee Byung-hun either. But they're both in it, and they're great. Everybody gives like 110% in this movie. And the movie itself gives 110%. It's pretty zany, pretty wacky, which you can kind of tell just from like looking at really just like any of like the main characters, or like especially I feel like Lee Byung-hun, like his like emo bad guy western like
Yes.
cowboy look, very like over the top and silly. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like the first shot you see of him, he's got like the eyeliner on, and he's got like the swoop over his eye, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, like this is kind of like a cartoon, and it does kind of devolve into like Looney Tune type stuff
Yes.
throughout. I'm gonna put my cards on the table a little earlier. I really wanted to like this more than I did.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot to like, I think, but I think for me, like the runtime kind of drags it down a little bit for me.
Yeah. I can kind of yeah. I was kind of thinking that in parts that it
Yeah,
could have been. But then I'm like, yeah, but Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is like 3 hours long. I'm like, I was trying to
That's
like,
true.
okay, there is a lot there.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly has a weird segment where like they just kind of dip into the Civil War for like 45
yeah, that's
minutes.
right. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, I guess we're going on like a logging adventure now, and we're doing this for a while before we just get back to like the main story. But I mean, I will say like all of the characters in this are pretty fun. Song Kang-ho is great. I feel like Song Kang-ho is like channeling his inner like sort of like Jackie Chan, where he's kind of like a bumbling idiot in some ways, but it's like he always manages to get out of the situation on top, and he always finds some way to like improvise with some sort of like thing in his immediate surroundings. And like, you know, I'm thinking of the scenes where he shoves shit up that dude's ass, like the spear.
Yeah.
There's some great moments with Song Kang-ho. And like the opening train robbery scene was like, I was like, oh shit, okay, if this maintains this throughout the whole thing, I'm in. Because there were some really cool shots like going through the train cars and like all the different actions that are happening through it. I recently watched The Raid and The Raid 2, and then I watched The Furious, which just came out a few weeks ago. So I'm like I'm very into like highly stylized action fighting sequences. And so there were a good amount of those. I think this leans more into like hard-boiled territory than like The Raid, just because there's like guns, and there's like so many guns in hard-boiled. But I think the thing is, and this is like an issue that I kind of had with hard-boiled, is that like you get to a point where you kind of have guy getting thrown through a window fatigue, where it happens so much.
Oh, sure.
That you're like, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So it's like some of the gunfights, some of the stuff I think in this just drags a little bit too much. If it was like, if you cut 20 or 30 minutes out of this, I think I would have liked it a lot more, but I still like had a good time with it.
Yeah. I would kind of agree. But I was also, the whole time I was watching it, like I was kind of drifting in and out at points, and I had to like sit up because I had a really long weekend.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like I was in Chicago, and then we got home a lot later than I expected because of like traffic, and then I didn't take into account the time change either. And then I had to work this morning, so I'm like really tired. So I never like fell asleep, but I was for sure like closing my eyes, and of course because it's a foreign movie, I was missing some dialogue here and there, so it was a little hard for me to follow the story. But I was like, I can't just rewind this. I'm like, I just have to get through this because I'm like, I'm just gonna like continuously struggle to follow or like struggle to stay awake. And I was kind of like, there was like, it wasn't the entire movie. I was like sitting there like, it was just kind of in and out, and but I knew I've done that before, and it's just like, it's a losing battle. You're just gonna I would just be fighting it for longer and longer. Because I don't know, movies do make me really sleepy. Just whether I'm into them or not, they make me sleepy. So I will pin some of my not dislike by any means, but some of my not
lack of enthusiasm, maybe.
Yeah, sure. I'm pinning some of it on that. Because when I like break it down, like I think about it, like I did really like, at least, and I don't know if maybe it's just because I didn't know the other guy, the guy who played the good. I didn't. Yeah. He's like the only one of those guys who I didn't know. But also, I felt like he was the most like bland, like he is just playing the straight man, but he doesn't have that riz that like young Clint Eastwood had. I didn't mind him, but like the other two were so much more entertaining and interesting. And I had the same feeling with the action, especially as it went along. That I was like waiting, and there would be moments in like fights that would like kind of change up and be like, oh, this is great, this is exciting, and then it would kind of go back to the like, I like the part when they're fighting in that one kind of, it's like a little tiny, I don't know if it's a village or if it's just someone's like house. It's kind of like all the rickety boards. It's closer to the end.
The ghost market.
Yes, I think it's there. And there's like the part where Song Kang-ho is he's fighting Don Lee, who I also didn't know was in this, but he's another guy that I like. He's like the caveman looking guy who like has a big hammer that he swings around, and he's he's like choking him or whatever, and he like pushes his head up like through the boards, so his head is like sticking out, and he like looks up to the good, and he's like give me my guns, and he like throws them past him, and he's like ah! And then like there's bits like that. After that, the good, he shoots the weight, so then the rope like goes flying, and he grabs onto that, and he's like shooting people as he's swinging. I'm like, there were like exciting moments here and there, but then a lot of it was kind of just felt sort of rinse and repeat. But yeah, good comedic action bits like that. Again, could be like a Jackie Chan bit, because the like mixing comedy and action in that sense. And
it reminded me of The Nice Guys when they're at that shootout.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe's like, throw me the gun, and Ryan Gosling throws it, and it just shatters through the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just love that he did it twice. He throws both guns, and they both just miss.
Yeah. But then I will say, like, even though it was at times still hard to kind of make out what was happening, just the sheer spectacle of that last like big action scene with all the horses and explosions, and I'm watching it like, what? There were shots where it's like the wide shots, I'm like, it's like they're actually like doing their little like pyrotechnics or like explosions around them, and it seemed pretty like one of those like things that they don't do anymore because it was probably really dangerous to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that sequence happened, and I'm like, oh, I'm like in a Mad Max movie now. Like, it's
True, yeah. George Miller does still do that stuff, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was like waiting for someone to like get deployed on like a hang glider to like fly over him or something. Yeah, and I think that's kind of where things picked up for me a little bit. Especially, I'm a sucker for a good needle drop, and this song in particular,
that was great.
Because like I know it from Kill Bill primarily. That was like the first time I had ever heard it, but Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood is like it's such a dynamic song too, because you have all these different moments where it's kind of like disco-y and you get like the guitar going, but then you just got the like you got the just the little claps, and it kind of died down a little bit. That stunt where Song Kang-ho is riding in the motorcycle and then the other guy's in the truck.
Oh, and they swap.
And he's like, and they both jump, and then the motorcycle hits. And then it's like when Song Kang-ho like climbs through the back seat, the music dies down and it just cuts down to the. And I'm like, okay, this is really good. And then, oh my God, when I think this is like the best moment for The Good is when he shows up and he's just like taking out like members of the Japanese army, he's like 1v30ing them. Yeah. And then as soon as like the Gatling gun guy, I was like, oh, he's gonna take this guy out, but the gun's still gonna be going, so he's gonna like inadvertently wipe out all of those guys with their own guy. It was great. That stuff was like really good.
Yeah.
I think also the whole like inciting incident, like the whole reason they're doing everything, feels like it's very much just sort of cast to the side. Like it's like this map. So like the whole thing kicks off because there's a map that someone in like the Japanese army has that like leads to a treasure or something. And so like these different factions want it. And so the crazy emo guy is like going to stage a train robbery, but then Song Kang-ho sort of does he know about it too? Is that what he's after?
I'm not sure. I think I got the idea that he's just a criminal and he was just robbing that train just to do it, and then he found it because then he like brings it to his friend, and I don't know if he can't read or whatever, but he like brings it to his friend and he's like, oh, this is a treasure map, and then he's like, then that's when so I think it was just kind of a coincidence.
Yeah, it's almost like a No Country for Old Men type thing where it's like Josh Brolin finds the briefcase full of cash and then basically is the guy in the middle of two warring factions and like doesn't really realize it. But I don't know. It didn't feel like that good of a payoff at the end when you learned that like the treasure was oil. That just I don't know. Cuz like I feel like there's like political implications about that, cuz like oil represents like, you know, industry and like kind of like world domination. Like whoever controls oil tends to be doing pretty good for themselves. And I think I wanted more out of that. Maybe I thought there was going to be like maybe a greater point that was going to be had about like, you know, whoever controls the oil type thing. But it almost seemed like an afterthought after they kind of had their 3-way gun battle. I don't know. I guess it didn't super duper work for me. Like I wanted a little more maybe. I don't know.
I guess I didn't really. Personally, I don't think I really cared about that because it was just clearly just an excuse to do, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly, same deal. So I was just like, I didn't really care what the treasure was, I guess. And then when it did that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of whatever.
It would have been funny if they were all so stupid that they were just like, it's just oil. What a ripoff. I wanted like gold and rubies or something like that. I feel like in their minds, they thought it was going to be like a pirate's booty. Like they thought it was going to be like doubloons or something. That's kind of how they were.
Yeah. I think for sure that's
and they're
what,
like, whatever, you guys can have this.
Yeah. So I didn't mind that, but speaking of that final shootout again, I will say, I feel like this movie, like, up until this point, I was, you're thinking of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or just other, like, spaghetti westerns from time to time, and, like, but obviously that one the most. But it wasn't, like, it's all different enough to where, you can kind of, like, enjoy them separately. But I felt like it kind of, I guess no pun intended, shot itself in the foot by mimicking the final shootout in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Like, that was the most, like, imitation scene or whatever, the most, like, direct from that movie. And I was like, you're not doing yourself any favors with that, because that's just an amazing, like, climax, right? That's such a cool, like, classic, iconic shootout, and it's so good. And so that was where I was, like, thinking through the whole thing. I just kept thinking of that, and I was like, it's not as good as I'm like whatever this score is hadn't bothered me until this point, but I'm like, this is not the ecstasy of gold.
Yeah. See, now that's like the worst thing is, like, reminding you of a movie that does something better that you'd rather watch instead. Because as soon as you invoke that, the shots in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where they're, like, running through all of the gravestones, or like the white crosses, and the way that the camera's moving as it's, like, tracking them, just running, and it's so expansive. It's so good. Yeah. It sort of came back around a little bit when, like, cause then, like, it's doing the exact thing that it does in there, where it's like the close up on the eyes, and it gets faster and faster and faster and faster, and then boom, they draw. But in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, it's just a quick, right? It's like instant. Yeah. But in this, it's like it goes slow-mo, and I was like, don't do that. But then it kind of came back around, because they all get shot like 30 times, and they just keep shooting each other. They're like on the ground, and then somebody will keep, like, boom, like, take another shot at one other person. And, like, I was like, there's no way any of these guys are still alive. But somehow Lee Byung-hun is the only one that actually dies, I guess, because you do get a little bit of epilogue with the good and the weird. Even though you see, like, there was a part, I think it was the last shot that was shot at Song Kang-ho. He gets shot, like, right here, like, right under the rib cage. And I was like, oh, that's it. I was like, that's the kill shot. So he's dead now. But then, nope, you get the little part. He's riding away on his motorcycle. Okay, cool. They literally have plot armor. Like, they're all getting shot like 15 times, and somehow every single shot is like a non-vital organ shot where they can still just, like, get up and move around for the most part and not have any lasting damage. Yeah. But maybe it's just like because it was guns from the 1930s, and they, like, if it was like guns now, they would be like, they would all be like hollow points, and their heads would just explode. Yeah. But it's not like like we had said, the movie is kind of like a cartoon, so it's not like it's just kind of funny. And that, and like I said, I was like, okay, I like this more the more that they, like, continuously shoot each other. It's kind of winning me over a little bit more. Especially if it's like trying to be highly stylized and dramatic, like they're doing like their Good, the Bad, and the Ugly homage. But it's like, can you imagine in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly if it was like Clint Eastwood, Lee Von Cleef, and the other guy, where it's like because that scene is like 2 minutes almost of just their eyes looking at each other, and like their hands, and like it takes forever, but it's building up, and you're building up, and you're building up, and you're waiting for it. Can you imagine if, like, you have all that build up, and then they all are just like
Yeah.
Like Clint Eastwood's on the ground and he leans up and then he just gets done. He's like,
Yeah.
And it's just like, it devolves into Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, stop.
Yeah, I barely took any notes. Although, again, I will say that was probably more likely because I was, like, sleepy.
Yeah.
Because there was lots of little things that I would notice. I was like, oh, I like that. Oh, that's cool. Like, yeah, a lot of, like, stylistic things, like we mentioned. I don't know. I know that like Eli Wallach has like, you know, a pretty significant role. He's the ugly from that one. But it's kind of interesting how in this it's almost like you expect the good, the Clint Eastwood stand-in to be like the central character, but I kind of think it's, if any of them, it's the weird. It's Song Kang-ho. He's kind of like the main guy, and like of course you spend time with all of them, but honestly, like the good is like, I don't know if he has much of his own story. Like he only really starts being a more prominent figure when he captures Song Kang-ho and they're kind of like working together. So he's kind of like, even though he's playing the straight role and Song Kang-ho is the weird role, it's almost like the Clint Eastwood and Eli Wallach roles are reversed as far as like prominence and story base and like the character development, I guess. I feel like it's such a like macro film that there's not, although again, maybe it's just because I wasn't fully into it, but I was finding it hard to note like really specific like things or like specific scenes to talk about, other than like, you know, and I don't know if maybe, does that mean that like maybe that's like the movie was repetitive, like we were saying about the action being a little repetitive, and it's like there's not as much like, I think the most memorable action scenes were the ones that we talked about, the final horse battle, just because it's crazy, and then that the like shootout in the Ghost Market thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
and the train, I liked the opening train.
Sure,
one.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
That had
and I think the thing is like, I think what I like so much about movies like the Raid 2 and the Furious and like that type is that like the fights in that are all like dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's like you'll have different types of fights. I guess you could count like Police Story in that as well, like Jackie Chan movies, where it's like they're all like sort of set pieces where it's like, all right, we pulled out all the stops on this one and now we're gonna like kind of shift gears and change it up a little bit. Like, have you seen The Furious yet?
No, I have not, but I want to.
There's a fight scene in that movie that is like absolutely bonkers. It kind of does the good, the bad, and the ugly ish, where it's almost like three different parties. There's like a three-way fight between three different people, and they're all fighting each other, but then they're also like using each other as props, and like it's gonzo, silly, stupid, but it's like so awesome, and it never feels like boring or repetitive like at all. And so I think that's kind of what I'm looking for in these types of movies. And, yeah, like you said, other than those handful of, like, memorable set pieces, a lot of the stuff in between, I don't know, I feel like the more it happens, you also, like, lose a sense of any sort of stakes, where it's like, okay, like, this is going to happen, but, like, he's gonna get out of it. I don't know. You never really feel like anything super consequential is gonna happen. I don't know.
Sure.
Which I'm not saying like every fight needs to be that way. But I feel like there's like only so many times where you can like, oh, he's in a perilous situation. How's he gonna get out of it this time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that can work for some movies, but I guess it didn't work as much for me in this one.
Mm-hmm.
들려? 재밌어.
I did like the character moment. I mostly like the character moments like between the three mains, and it was definitely one where like when it got to that final scene, and I really liked Lee Byung-hun in that final scene where he like takes off his glove and he's like, "Oh, you were the finger chopper," and the like metal thing, the metal finger is like whistling, and he's like, "You hear that?" I really liked him there, and I was like, I had me thinking like, I wish these three had more opportunities to like interact, like all three of them together, because I did really like them all together there. And I liked any time that, you know, it was Song Kang-ho and the good guy, or any time that they, between the three of them. But then like when it was focusing on like the Japanese military or the gang, the Ghost Market gang or whatever, I was not paying attention super hard. And I was kind of, partly I was just like trying to be like, what are all, it's sometimes that if it works, and if you are following it better than I was, that can work. Like I do like a wild, like big, like converging of like, yeah, not just one, two, or three. So it was like like 5 different sides, and that kind of added to like why that final battle was so like engaging. But I was like, I was having such a hard time following like why all these different groups were like interested in the same thing, and who was working with who, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. It's so funny that they didn't know that it was like oil.
Yeah. Like the military, at least.
Because it's like, yeah, I was like, oh, maybe like that could have been interesting if like the Japanese army knew that it was like an oil field that was rich in that. Mm-hmm. And so like they were the only ones that could really like cultivate it or use it. And so it's like, yeah, fine, let these guys like kill each other to get there, and then realize that it's like there's nothing there for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It could have been interesting in that way. Like maybe like at some point, like it's revealed that it's like, oh, it's like a fertile oil field, and we're the only ones that can harness it. Do some like There Will Be Blood type shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Ready to score it?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going with a 6 for now. That's how I'm feeling. I also was hoping I would like it more. That's potential to go up if I was able to watch it more alertly, maybe. And I actually thought when I was watching it today, I was like, oh, maybe I was thinking of like seeing if we could postpone this a couple days, but then I was like, I'm not gonna have like enough time to like watch this again before, like, if I push it back like a couple days. So I just had to roll with it. Man. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun. I'm glad I finally watched it, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
There's fun stuff, and it was entertaining enough. There was enough like bits, comedic bits that like made me laugh, and action scenes that made me go ooh. That yeah.
Sure.
I had a decent time with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was oh god, you're getting me yawning now. I was feeling like, yeah, like a pretty weak 7, maybe a hard 6 a week 7, you know, okay. Just yeah, there was someone. Oh, I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely went into it thinking I was gonna like it a lot more. I love Song Kang-ho. Like, he is great in, like, I've loved him in everything that I've seen him in, pretty much. I think he's just one of those guys that whatever he's in, I feel like he elevates it a little bit more, just with his charm and charisma and like sense of comedic timing. Like, I feel like there's a scene in The Ghost Market where he runs out the door and like does like a drop kick, and I was like, oh, that's like from Memories from Murder. He kind of does one of those where he like he kicks through the door and he's like fully sideways in the air, and I'm like, hey, there it is, I remember that. Yeah, and then I feel like it just kind of, it was burdened by its length and like maybe some unnecessary complexity with like all the different parties after this thing, that maybe they could have spent some more time on the thing itself. I don't know. That was like a thing for me. But yeah, there were enough set pieces that were fun. There were like funny comedic moments, kind of a la like Jackie Chan style fights and usage of props that I love. But yeah, I don't know. Could go up on a revisit, might not. I don't know if I'd really revisit it again anytime soon. But yeah, I'm glad I saw it at least. So yeah, 7, light 7.
Nice. I say we either talk about Widow's Bay and Backrooms this episode, or we cut them because it's been so long.
Yeah, we could probably cut Backrooms.
Okay. I feel more into talking about Widow's Bay between the two, I guess, too. I did, yeah.
Okay, cool. We can do that then.
Cool.
And then just get nominated for like 19 Emmys, so
I saw it. That's crazy. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I know that it's like, it's, I haven't heard many people like talking about it, but I am aware that it's like, seems like it's a show that like everybody's watching.
Yeah. It's I feel like it's gonna be. Are we back in?
Yeah.
Okay. Widow's Bay. I feel like it's one of those shows that's going to be slept on, and then I think the word of mouth alone, I think, will start to like slowly build, because that's how we heard about it. Someone else told us about it, and then I've told some people about it, and they've been like, oh yeah, this is good, and then they kind of told some people about it. So I think that's kind of what's really in their favor, is that it has good word of mouth, and I think it's only going to get stronger. I don't know how to like look at award seasons as like indicators of popularity, because it's like it being nominated for a bunch of Emmys. Do people still watch the Emmys? Do people still like put stock in the Emmys? I know like the Oscars are kind of a big deal. Like, people will talk about the Oscars when that happens, but for the Emmys, it's like, I don't know.
It's like, it's weird. Yeah. I've never been
that thing that the pit wins.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever watched the Emmys before. I don't think I have. And it's such a weird like form. It's like in the middle of the year. Yeah. And then there's the like daytime Emmys and primetime Emmys, and I think primetime is the one that like people usually talk about, because that's those kind of shows. Daytime is just daytime television, which is a whole different universe, really. But yeah, no, that is a good point. But I will say, like, it seems like it's one that I feel this seems like a lot of people are talking about because of that, or no, not talking about, but watching. Because like, yeah, like you mentioned it to me, and then one of Kalia's friends mentioned it to her, and like that's when like I was like, okay, yeah, I was like kind of, after you told me, I was like, you know, intrigued by it, but then she was like, she went on Apple TV and she's like, I want to check out this thing for my one of my friends told me about, and I was like, is it Widow's Bay? And she's like, yeah, and I was like, Yeah, I was. Yeah, Nick told me about it too. So we were like, okay, yeah, we'll watch it. And that's like all. Like I keep hearing people are like, oh yeah, this person told me about this person, and
Yeah.
it is a real like word of mouth show. But I don't know if I would call it like under the radar necessarily though. With all the like, it did get a lot of Emmy nominations, and that is something that is substantial, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
But also the Emmys do like almost more so than like the Oscars. It's like they really fall into I guess it's just the TV ones. It's like they really fall into the habit of like, once a show is like if the first season, you know, the Widow's Bay getting nominated for all these Emmys this first season, I feel like second season it could fall off a cliff and be like dog shit. It's still gonna get nominated for like best comedy or whatever it's up for, because like the Emmys love renominating the same shows year after year, no matter like what their actual quality is. And I, in a way, like I'm ragging on them, but then like I think I'm like, what? Like that's kind of just how like a lot of people watch TV, right? It's a lot easier to, you know, that kind of like that oppressive like force of like starting a new show versus like rewatching the same show that you've seen a million times. It's like, it's so much easier to just watch something you've already started. So I wonder if that's like what it's like if you're for the Emmy like board, where they're just like, oh yeah, well we could watch this new show, but we already watched The Bear, so we're just gonna watch that new season instead.
Yeah. I mean, that like the first thing I thought when I saw that Widow's Bay was nominated for a bunch of Emmys, and I was like, cool, I can't wait for it to lose every single one to like Abbott Elementary or like The Bear.
So is it up for comedy, not drama?
I think it is. I think it's.
I guess that would
comedy.
make sense. It is a comedy. It's definitely more of a comedy than The Bear.
I feel like the Emmys are also like, I don't know, they're so weird about their categories, because the stuff that they consider for comedy versus drama, sometimes I'm like, I don't know, because this is like horror, really. I mean, it's comedy horror, which I guess of the two things you would want to put it in comedy, I guess. But it seems odd to me to look at it as like strictly as a comedy, or like look at it in that.
I think
genre.
that's what happens. Yeah, I think that is what happens because they obviously don't have a category just for horror, and I think they tend to go towards comedy rather than drama, which you can kind of get because like they do. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people do kind of, you pair the like horror and comedy, kind of like stir up the same sort of like reactions, and like they follow a lot of the same like structural conventions as one another, so they are kind of like somewhat related genres. So I guess I would put that depending on the show. Like I think probably like American Horror Story, I think that because that was like an awards darling, and I think that first season might have won like best limited series, because that was like when it was just like the one season and they hadn't but I think that one is a considered drama, and that one is like super serious but also super corny. But this one is definitely like, it is a horror comedy, and it's like the horror is taken seriously, but it's also like a comedy for sure. But it is a weird, it's its own, it's like in its own category sort of thing. It's a you don't often see horror comedies that take both of those genres as seriously. Usually it's like a comedy movie that has some spooks in it, or vice versa, you know. I guess you could call like Scream is like a horror comedy. I would almost say that.
I would say this is closer to Scream than anything, because it also, like Scream, has that like meta textual layer where it's like they're kind of playing with like horror movie tropes a little bit. or like sort of like the Stephen King isms. Like I would say there's a lot of.
Yeah.
It's almost like they include like little Stephen King, like mini episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the first episode, you've got like did he write The Mist?
Yeah.
So you got The Mist in the first episode. You got Pennywise in the second episode with like the killer clown guy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of other, I don't know. But then you got like Halloween.
Yeah.
You got with like the Boogeyman.
I
guess
just
that's
like
maybe
slasher,
more Jason. Yeah.
generic slasher stuff. Yeah. There could be something with like that, the weird like the cult thing. I like that episode where the assistant lady, she's like trying to throw a party and she ends up like
Yes.
she's like reading from that like cursed book or whatever, and
Yes.
that was pretty funny. But yeah, I did. Anyway, the show as a whole, I did really enjoy it. Yeah, when you told me about it, because you were the first, I'd literally not heard about it until you'd brought it up. But like, yeah, you mentioned, I was like, oh, it sounds interesting, and then I love Matthew Rhys ever since The Americans. Great show.
Yes.
He's so good in that show. And this is a wildly different character, but it's like Kalia said that he was like made for this role, and it's like he kind of is. Like he fits it so well. He's so good. He really balances like the show. He's a really good. I think it's kind of. It would be hard to find a good lead who can do the comedic moments well, but also like the dramatic moments like just as well. And I think he handles both pretty deftly. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I love all of the like surrounding cast members as well. Like I think Stephen Root is great in every scene that he's in. Mm-hmm. How did you like Chris Fleming's cameo?
Chris Fleming.
The shaman.
Oh, yeah, he was cool, I guess. I guess I don't remember that character that much. I remember he's like, yeah, he like gives him. Oh yeah, because he thinks he keeps calling Matthew Rhys's character. He's like, he thinks that he was Wick, and I like that. Like even in I think the season finale, that guy comes back and he's still calling him Wick. Like even after they corrected him, he's still referring to him as Wick. I like that little touch.
He gets sucked into the tornado.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they're like in the shelter, and he's like running, and he drops like a bag of drugs or something, and he goes to grab, and they're like, no, and he just gets sucked up into it.
That's right.
Are you familiar with him outside of this show?
No.
Oh, okay. I guess that's why your reaction was a little more muted than I thought. He's a comedian, and he's very like he's like crazy. He's like very like expressive and bombastic and like very silly. So it was like when you see your custom character in a cutscene, kind of like one of those moments where you're like, oh, I know you from the phone, and now you're in this show. Like it was, I don't know, just like a very surreal moment to see him in something like almost like this prestige horror comedy type thing.
Has he acted before?
Very, very limited.
Oh, okay.
I think he's been on like Stavi's World. Like he's done like some podcasts before. He had like a stand-up special on Netflix, I think.
Okay.
I feel like he's done shit with like Sarah Squirm from like SNL. Mm-hmm. He's kind of in that vein.
Okay. Yeah, so he just looks like that.
Yes, yep,
Okay.
I knew about the show's creator, Katie Dippold, way before she ever made this show, because she has like one of the most viral tweets that I've ever seen.
Oh.
Like, I've seen this a million times, and it's this one. Throwback Thursday to Halloween when I dressed as the Babadook, but my friend's house had more of a grown-ups drinking wine vibe. And she's just sitting there. Everyone else is dressed normal, but she's like, I think the fact that you can see like her retinas, like the light pupil, like her pupils or whatever, it makes it so much funnier to me.
Yeah.
But like when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that's who made Widow's Bay.
I thought she was a creator, but I guess not. But I saw she wrote on Parks and Rec. That was all the
yeah. She did an interview where she said that Widow's Bay was like a failed spec script for an episode of Parks and Rec.
Oh.
And you can almost kind of see the vision a little bit. Like Matthew Rhys is supposed to be kind of like a Leslie Knope type figure, but it's like, what if Leslie Knope was on a cursed island? Like, she's trying to like bring in tourism and like get people to come to the island to like be interested in it, and she's trying to have this like upbeat, positive attitude whenever, because like every like scene in Parks and Rec, whenever they hold like a public forum, every single person would be right at home at Widow's Bay. It's like the type of stuff that it's just like, there's a dog that walks through the park at 2 p.m. What are you gonna do about it? It's like shit like that. And it's like, oh yeah, that's like every kind of like bumpkin type character in Widow's Bay. But this is like, what if the bumpkins were right? Like, what if like Stephen Root is like one of those guys, and it's like, oh, he's right about everything.
That's funny. That's a funny way to look at it. Like that. Man, I will say I looked at her wiki page for her like credits. Her TV series, it's just Widow's Bay, Parks and Rec, and then she wrote for Mad TV too. But her like movie history, pretty rough. It's 3 Melissa McCarthy comedies. And then Snatched, which is an Amy Schumer comedy, and then the like Disney Plus Haunted Mansion movie, which I don't know anything about that one. But yeah, The Heat, Spy, and Ghostbusters 2016.
So the fact that Widow's Bay is what it is kind of a miracle.
Kind of a miracle. Yeah.
Yeah. I did recognize another name though, Hiro Murai. He directed a ton of episodes of Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Like I think
that name sounds familiar.
Oh, and he did some of The Bear.
Okay.
And he did that Mr. and Mrs. Smith show with Donald Glover. Yeah, he did some of Barry. Yeah,
Barry.
he's been like a director on some Heaters stuff.
Okay.
So I saw his name and I'm like, okay, like that's probably why the show looks how it does, and like why every episode is I don't know, I feel like every episode is like shot really well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so he's like he's like a prestige TV director. He's like he's a go-to like yeah. Huh. And Legion, another good one. Oh, cool. Yeah, I know I recognize his name, and it looks like he's done a fair amount of like Childish Gambino's like music videos too.
That makes sense.
Not a fair amount, but he's done a couple. Yeah. Yeah. I honestly I feel kind of bad because I did really like this show. But it's been we did finish it a little while ago.
Yeah, same. I mean, we watched the finale like when it came out, and that was almost basically a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, June 17th is when the season finale was.
Oh, okay.
And that's where you go. It's kind of like a bottle episode too. Like it's like 2 bottle episodes where it's like the people in the storm shelter.
Yeah.
And then it's him trying to work up
with
courage
the old
to
lady.
murder a 90-year-old woman.
Yeah. That was really good though. I really liked that. Like, just that whole sequence with him there was really good and just really showed off his like dramatic chops, I thought, because he was really good in that last episode. And then what? Oh yeah, and then the cop shows
from
up
The Leftovers.
Yeah. Just shows up and shoots her.
The other moment from that I love is that balding guy that's in Pluribus after he watches the tape and he like everyone in the storm shelter is kind of like calming down, and then you just cut to him with a flashlight and he's like, "This place is a death trap, run!" And everyone freaks out and panics.
Yeah, that's good.
Again, like all of the various like sort of character actors have so much personality. I also love I think she's played by Dale Dickey. Rose. When the episode where they're like going over the genealogy of everybody, and she's like, dead baby, lesbian, dead baby. And then Patricia's like, can you stop saying it that way? She's like, what? I can't say lesbian anymore. And then she's like, dead baby, retard, dead baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you're like, well, that's not much better.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah, that was really funny. I really like that. We'll say the whole like the twist reveal that his son is like part of the bloodline or whatever was like the most predictable like twist ever. I was like waiting for it, because like of course, but it can't like end with her. Yeah, although I do love that he goes over there and he's like, oh, she's like a 90-year-old lady, like what does she really have going on in her life, right? And then he shows up, she's on the treadmill, her calendar is full, like, and like someone took a screen grab of her calendar and zoomed in, and it literally says on each day, she's like, oh yeah, I go pick up my friend and I take her down the stairs and then I take her back up the stairs, and it says that on like every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then there's like the part where like she like goes upstairs to get him something, and I'm assuming they had like a stunt person do this, but she like runs up the stairs and Matthew Rhys is just like, he's like, oh my God, this is like the most active and fit 90-year-old woman ever. Yeah, she is 90. That's crazy. That actress is?
Yeah, she's 90.
Dang.
I mean, I know that they were like kind of playing it up in the show, but she seems like pretty spry and with it for a 90-year-old. Like she's
sure, yeah.
I love Hamish Linklater as the undead pastor. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's the subtle comedy in that is like, I think Patricia writes on a note, did I say something to make you mad? Like Matthew, because like they already let him out of the coffin and he's just like sitting on the bed. And that scene when Matthew Rhys is just kind of standing at the doorway, just like looking at him. And then I think Hamish Linklater like coughs and he like jumps out of his skin. Just like it's such a simple thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good great cast like all around, and like I guess like guest actors like him. I don't know. I don't know where to go with it. But it's good. I'm looking forward to more of it. I really enjoyed it. So, next week, Josh is going to come back on the show. I asked... Honestly, once we have people on as much as him, I'm not like... I'll still ask if they have like a recommendation, but like... It doesn't have to, you know? But
I think he likes the cut pulls. I think he likes the randomness because I think maybe it'll put something in his orbit that like he hasn't seen or maybe has been curious to see. Like, I don't know. He seemed to really like coming on for like Little Italy, which is definitely not like his sort of like, you know, cinema critique wheelhouse. But, you know, I feel like we had a good conversation. So
yeah, I do too. Yeah. I think, I mean, that's my goal with them is like most of what I put in the cup is stuff that I haven't seen, that some of it I know very little about, some of it I know more about, but and I think he would have been, but he did throw out a movie, and he suggested like a pairing with a movie coming out, and I liked it, so we're gonna go with this. So from him, or a suggestion from him, he suggested from 2004, directed by Wolfgang Peterson, Troy, the adaptation of Homer's The Iliad, and we're gonna do a pairing of that with the new Odyssey movie, the Christopher Nolan one that's coming out. Everybody's gonna be seeing it anyways, so you know, and I kind of like that. It's essentially not following the same characters, but it's essentially a 2-part story. So I like the idea of pairing those. So we're gonna go with that. And also, Troy is one of those movies that's in that category of watched it a million times as a kid, loved it, have no idea if it holds up. I know it doesn't have great ratings generally. And it will be funny watching these together, because the Odyssey does seem to be playing up like the mythology. Like you see like the Cyclops, and there's I don't know if they're going to have Scylla, but you have Charybdis, the whirlpool. That's like a supernatural thing. There's a shot of them going through Scylla and Charybdis. So there's obviously like they're playing up the supernatural mythological elements. Troy does not. It like plays it like realistically. So that'll be kind of a fun like switch up where we're going to be, if we're viewing them as like a part 1 and part 2, part 1 is going to be no gods, no mythology, and then part 2 is like
only gods.
That'd be funny. Yeah, we'll see. It is a lot of movie but you know, like we're going to be seeing, like I said, we're all seeing Odyssey anyways, but it's because that's like just under 3 hours, and then Troy is a full 2.5. So.
Oh my, yeah, no, it's 2 hours and 43 minutes. God damn.
Yeah. I can't believe that. Because like I said, I don't remember it ever feeling that long.
There's a director's cut that's even longer.
Is it?
Yeah, the director's cut is 196 minutes.
So that's a decent bit over 3 hours, almost 320. Dang.
Yeah, we're pushing into like, maybe not. I was gonna say pushing into like Lord of the Rings extended cut territory, but those shits are like pushing 4 hours, all of them.
Yeah, that's pushing like Lord of the Rings theatrical cut.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So watch those if you don't want to be spoiled for literally thousands years old stories. These episodes come out on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. EST on YouTube in video form, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more in audio form. We also have social pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And with all that said, I'm tag yourself. I'm the weird. I'm random. I'm that guy. I'm that boy. The frog sitting on the unicycle.
Here
Oh,
come
Lord.
that boy.
And I'm TJ, and with me as always.
As always, I cut my finger off. And I'm the bad, and I'm Nick.
That because I think when he does that in the movie, he's like that's funny, isn't it? And when you were doing that, I was gonna go, that John funny.
That big guy.
And that big guy.